Hey everyone, my name is Danny Dumas, and this is the Earn Your Title podcast. And this is a very special episode for me. This is my 1-year anniversary. This is episode number 56, which I know there's 52 weeks in the year. I released a few ahead of time on my first release day. And man, I am just so excited that I have made it a year. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for the emails that you've sent me, for the social media, for the DMs, for the in-person, encouragement. It's been awesome. This podcast has been downloaded over 13,000 times. Thank you. This podcast has been seen in over 58 countries. So for all my friends in other countries, thank you so much for listening. It means a ton to me. When I started this, I had some goals and criteria for success. And that's what this is going to be. This podcast is going to be about, setting goals, maybe reaching out a little bit. And I'm going to share some of the lessons that I've learned while trying to put a successful podcast out there. And I think they will hopefully inform you, encourage you, inspire you to go out and try something. So I probably a year and a half ago, I knew I wanted to do something at my church. I had taken over the men's ministry, and I knew I wanted a way to express my ideas, to think through some of the problems that I was having, to have a creative outlet. And I'm an avid consumer of podcasts, and I decided that this is what I'm going to do. And I spent about 3 months planning. I went on all the YouTube videos and figured out the best microphones and the best cameras and the software for editing and all that. And I took the leap. And so one of the, when you're getting ready to do something and it has the potential to be hard, one thing I want you to do is to think about what success really is. And for me, like, obviously there's some goals and dreams that I wanted, right? I would have loved to have this podcast, be at 100,000 downloads right now. I can't control that. I would love to have like a bunch of sponsors calling me like every day. Hey, Danny, we'd love you to, sell us some athletic greens. So AG1, if you would listen to any other podcast, they're going to be pushing AG1, which is like a green supplement, or like buy mattresses, or, like they would be cool to have like that, stuff coming in where, I was making money selling ads. Those will all be cool things and things I would be excited about. But I couldn't make those my goals because I don't have any control over that. So when you are getting ready to do something, and it could be as simple as I want to get in shape, have goals where you have control over the outcome of whether you have success or failure. For instance, if you're going to say, I want to get in better shape, I want to lose 10 pounds, you don't actually have, you can lose weight, and you do have control over that because the actions you take lead to weight loss. But the human body is a pretty unique and amazing machine, and it's not consistent. Like if you put X number of effort in, you get X number of effort out. Or if I do this, I will lose this amount of weight every week. It changes weekly, monthly, depending on if you're sick or healthy, how much you're training. So you can't control that. But what can you control? I'm going to the gym 3 times a week, and I'm going to go for a walk at home every day I'm not at the gym. That is controllable. And so for me, when I decided to launch this podcast, I was going to put out 1 episode a week, every single week. And I am happy to say I have not missed. This is number 56. Now, I've made some mistakes, and I would like to reach out to my most loyal fan. I can honestly say this is probably my most loyal fan is my mom. My mom gets up every morning, every weekday morning, and she goes and works out at like 5:30 in the morning. And on our way there, on our way back, she listens to my podcast. So mom and my dad does the same thing. Thank you, because they ride together. Thank you for listening. But my mom would call me. I think this happened 3 times. Danny, there's no podcast today. And in my head, I pre-record this. So this is happening a week or 2 before the actual anniversary day of me. So it's always, I'm pre-recording and then I schedule it. Well, one time I scheduled it for 4 p.m. instead of 4 a.m. One time I scheduled it for the wrong month. I was in June. I was trying to schedule for July, but I actually scheduled it for June of next year. So there were some times where I didn't. So mom, thank you for calling me. Keep doing it. I am committed to putting out a daily or a weekly podcast. And so thank you for doing that. So find something in your life where you have that goal, whether it's a side hustle, a business. Find the thing that you have the control over and make that your goal. Make that success. And I can honestly say that criteria of I want to put out a weekly podcast has been successful. I am successful. I did it for a year, for an entire year, through vacations, through not feeling well, through all the difficulty and challenges. I put out a podcast every week. And because I've done that, 13,000 times people have downloaded this episode. It's been awesome. Thank you. And I want to encourage you guys to go after some stuff in your life. Like, this is something I wanted to do. And because I think I had the right goals of just being consistent, that was success. I didn't have a number that I get, if I don't get to 15,000 people downloading this episode in a year, I'm going to quit. I don't have control over that. I can put out positive, uplifting words and encouraging and interview some cool people, but I don't have control over that. So when you're going after something, make success controllable. Control the controllables. Number 2, realize that nothing can be exciting forever. When I first was starting this, I was spending some money, and I don't like shopping. Like, I don't like going to the mall and randomly walking around and just like, I think a pair of jeans. Yeah, that's cool. They're on sale. I'll buy some. No, I go to the jean store. I buy jeans when I want jeans. I enjoy that. So I got to buy a mixing board on eBay, and I got a couple microphones, and I enjoyed that. That was really exciting. And I got to do some branding. I got my logo. You could see a success. It was pretty quickly. And then you record your first couple episodes and like, this is so cool. And then life happens. I'll have a busy week where I'm at the fire academy. I'm at the fire academy 3 days a week, and I'm at the fire department 2 other days a week. And my day is jam packed, and I got to try to get this podcast edited, and it becomes work. And I want you guys to realize that however cool the extra thing you want to do, the weight loss, the side business, the improving the relationship with your spouse by putting in extra effort, at some point that becomes work and effort. And I do enjoy this. I really love this part of talking to you. The idea that you could be driving to work and you could hear something and that can make your day better, that could improve your relationship with your family or your wife or your kids or your job or make you healthier, that inspires me. But this is only 30 minutes of the part, right? Then I got to take the SD card out, and I got to put it in my computer, and I got to edit it. And then I got to figure out what I'm going to put on social media. And I got to add all these things to it to make the work part happen, to make the success part happen, to be consistent. And I realized that when you don't like something and something that is hard, it doesn't mean you're failing. And I think sometimes we think if we get into something and we don't enjoy every aspect of it, that's a failure. That wasn't fun. I'm not enjoying it anymore. I just must have lost the love or whatever. No, that's part of it. And in fact, I would say if it doesn't have a hard part, if there's not something that's challenging, it's probably not a goal that's going to move the needle. Now it can be, there can be like watching a series on Netflix is fun. It's enjoyable. There's no hard part, but that is not going to move the needle forward. Going to work out 3 days a week and walking every day you don't go work out, some of those workouts are going to be hard. Some of those workouts are not going to be enjoyable. Some of the workouts you're not going to want to do. It doesn't mean it's a failure. It means it's worth it because it's hard. Doing this podcast is hard. Being consistent is hard. Coming up with something that's worthwhile to say to you that's well thought out is hard. And I realize that I probably failed at some of those. You probably listen and go, man, that wasn't very good. So I apologize. And hopefully I'm continuing to improve, but it's work. Things that are worth doing are going to be hard by their very nature. So that's the second point. The third point is when you start something new, whatever that is, limit the amount of things that you're doing that are new. For instance, I'm excited to announce that I am going to start posting these as videos as well. I recorded every single audio podcast as a video. I have video for, I think, almost all 56 episodes. There might be a couple that the video didn't turn out, but I recorded video. And when I initially started, I'm like, I'm going to be on YouTube. I'm going to, all this stuff. Well, I realized very quickly that, the amount of work it took to edit a audio podcast is significant. And the amount of work it takes to edit a video podcast is even more. It takes even more time. And I decided that I'm going to focus and get good at the primary thing. Primary thing for a podcast is audio. Hopefully it sounds good. It's well put together and you enjoyed it because I've taken a year to do that. And now that I've got a year under my belt, I've sped up the amount of time, how quickly I can get these done. I decided I'm going to move to the next thing. And I think sometimes when we start a new habit, like health, for instance, we'll stick with health, is that, you say, I'm going to work out 3 days a week. And then every day we're not working out, I'm going to go for a walk. And I'm going to only eat low carb, no sugar. And I'm going to meditate every day. I'm going to do a cold plunge, and I'm going to do a 15-minute mobility workout. And, you just keep adding. Don't do that. That is the recipe for failure. Find something that's moving the needle for you, that you're excited about, that's pushing you and challenging you. And then when you, I don't want to say mastered it, but when you feel like you can do it without much extra mental effort, when it becomes a habit, then add to it. Like that's what I spent a year just doing audio podcast. And starting next month in August, this month, I'm hoping to release these as videos. Now, we'll see. I haven't done it yet. It's always an experiment. It's going to be audio first. That's my priority because that's where my success has been. And I'm going to add to that. There's some other things I would like to do. Like I would like to, when I find a topic that I'm very passionate about, to actually experiment with the things that I'm telling you about. So for instance, my next podcast is going to be about organizing your life and the just family administration stuff, like, signing your kids up for sports and having to have their birth certificate and getting that all together as a system. And I'm going to talk about the system me and my wife currently have and how I'm working to get a better system. I would like to show a vlog style or YouTube style video of what that looks like. So there's actually me signing up for a new Gmail address and putting everything in. I would really like to do that. I don't know if I have the capability, the time, the bandwidth to make that happen, but I'm moving towards that direction. So step one, I'm going to produce these videos and put them on YouTube. I'm going to see how that works. And then I'm going to add maybe once a month a video where I'm actually acting out and showing you how I'm doing what it is I'm doing. If it's a new, if I'm going to try 75 hard again, I'm going to document 75 hard, but I'm going to go in step. And I think that's really important is to, when you get that goal, is to keep the main thing the main thing. And once the main thing becomes easy, then move on to the secondary thing and the tertiary thing. That's where success happens. And I've failed at that many times in my life. And I think I'm learning my lessons, keep the main thing the main thing. So that's the third thing I think you should do. And the fourth thing, and I guess this is not really a thing, is that I want to encourage you to just go do it. Just, make it happen and fail. There is so much wasted opportunity in this world. And there's so many men that have great aspirations to do something. And sometimes we get stuck in this like circle of figuring it out, researching it, talking about it, getting into groups and doing all these things. And we fail to take the most important step in that process is taking action. Guys, go be successful. I have no doubt whatsoever that you have something in your mind that you think and would be great if you could just make it happen. And I'm telling you to make it happen. Do it today. Take a step. Don't stop thinking about it. Stop researching it. You've put enough time and effort into it. Take action. Do the thing. You won't know whether it's going to be good or bad until you take action. So go do that. I know this podcast has helped people because they've told me. There's been people, thank you for reaching out, that's told me, hey, it's been very beneficial. I think what you have to say is important. And it was because I took action. It was imperfect action. I've made lots of mistakes. I've done a whole podcast and realized I didn't hook up the microphone. I've showed up for a interview podcast and me and the guest had 2 different days and times. And I sat there waiting for a phone call and nothing happened. I failed. I'll continue to fail, but I took action and there's something good. There's something to show for it. So I'm asking you, go take action. Do the thing. Be amazing. Earn your title. When it comes back to every episode that I've done, it's my goal and my dream is that I'm giving you information. I'm giving you inspiration and motivation to go do the things that are going to make you a better husband, father, and leader. And the only way you can do that is after you get that information in your head, after you hide it in your heart, right? After you get it down in your gut, you go do something. So go do something. Make the world a better place. Go earn your title. My name is Danny Dumas, and this is the Earn Your Title podcast. Can't wait for the next year. It's going to be awesome. I'll talk to you later.